and welcome back to Your Wellcast, everyone. If you've been here before, you know this is a space and a place where we just have honest conversations, right? It's about health, about life, about practices and habits, just different things that help navigate you through health, your true well-being, that multidimensional well-being. If you are new here, I'm glad you landed on this space. Lately, I've been reflecting about all the things that tie these conversations together, right? I feel the world changing in different ways. The way we perceive things, the way that the dichotomy seems to be going in like highly tech, highly AI, and then others are gravitating towards analog. So how can we bridge the gap, essentially? And whether we're talking about nutrition, stress, relationships, habits, movement, right, like mindfulness, just nervous system support, it's really about simply making sense of life's transitions, because I feel like we're always in cycles, right? We're all in different seasons and states of being. And typically, for each one of us, it all comes back to and points to one idea, which is whole health. We're all looking for health in different arenas of our lives, right? That's why I call it multidimensional well-being, because there's just so many dimensions and we're each at different points in our lives trying to strive for health and well-being within one or more of those dimensions, right? So there's this misconception, and I think the biggest misconception in health and wellness is that change begins with motivation, right? Like it's a mindset. It's a thought and you do it. Part of that is true, don't get me wrong, but we definitely tell ourselves that it's more about discipline and willpower, and this sort of perfect routine that we're all trying to get to, right? We're all victim to that perfect Instagram type life. Yeah, it's not real life. That's kind of why I want to get back to doing these videos, is that they're real. Like it's real conversation, all guiding you towards resources that would actually help you in your everyday life. I don't live your life, you live your life, right? So you know it best. So again, back to that is that we tell ourselves, well, if all of this, we'd finally become healthier, or I'm going to blame myself or guilt myself, and all of that is typically unnecessary, because after more than a decade in this field of health education, I have found that lasting change usually begins with something much quieter, right? It's awareness. It's self-awareness. It's awareness of our surroundings. It's awareness of our actions, our thoughts, right? That's why I say it's always mind, body, soul. It's listening in. It's tuning in. So not that this whole thing is because awareness changes stuff overnight. It certainly doesn't. It's simply because awareness changes what we begin to notice. So I would guess that any large change within your life, you've been at a space where you begin to notice. Either your body tells you something, your environment tells you something, people around you mirroring are telling you something, that it's time to change, right? And so awareness is simply changing what we notice. And once we notice something, we have the opportunity to then choose differently. And so that, in fact, is where habits come in, okay? Thank you. Today I'm just reading my notes. I'm not just kind of like spiffing off. So thanks for the patience on that. Essentially, for those who are new, I want to reintroduce myself. I'm Anna. So I've spent years both embodying, but also in my career, living in that community health space, that health coaching space, a lot of employee well-being, health education, health programming, right? Like program leadership. And I simply design spaces, learning experiences for people to grow and change. So just human development, but my passion and purpose is, in fact, well-being, if I had to narrow it down within that development space. Okay, so just to give you a bit of a background on me. And so over the years, I have taught thousands of people about health, right? A lot of what I've done is on more of a high-level community space and enterprise-wide. That's why I can say thousands of people. Just that dissemination of education in spaces where it matters most to them, where we're meeting people, you, where you are, right? And so somewhere along the way, I definitely realized something important, that information doesn't always change people, okay? We think it does. There's so much information out there. We are on information overload. We all know that at this point. And most of us already know that we should drink more water, move our bodies, exercise, right? Sleep more, get more of a quality night's sleep, which I think people struggle with for unknown reasons to them. Manage stress, right? What is that work-life balance? We're always hearing the same things. We know this. But what's missing is actually understanding ourselves well enough to actually implement those changes in a way that changes our own lives. So I often use the term empowerment, because in my mind, that's what it is. It's building your self-efficacy. It's allowing you to, again, awareness, to notice that things are changing and building that education for yourself. That is information. There is nothing wrong with information. I think sometimes my point being is that information itself isn't the thing that is changing you, right, or people within an enterprise. Within an organization, for instance, or a community. And so it's really about understanding that missing piece is that information is great, you take it in, but what is that actual implementation avenue in which you're guiding yourself, leading yourself, right? Practicing, because everything in life is a practice. Again, what's going to work at 16 to 25 to 42 to 67 is not the same, right? So you always are pivoting to make sure that you're, I don't like the word manage, but managing your well-being in a way that makes sense for the way you are currently living your life, okay? So knowledge isn't usually what's missing. What's missing is understanding ourselves well enough. We really need to go back to that awareness piece, so that's where I'll start in some of these series. So we're actually implementing those changes in a way that can fit the life, right? Find rituals that work for you. It's different for me. I don't have 3 kids running around. So my sister, 2 kids, elementary age, yeah, it's a different morning routine, right? Neither is wrong or right. Nothing is black or white. It's making it work for where you are, for what your patterns are, and for your adaptability in change, I would say, right? So again, back to my background, like a lot of the things we're going to talk about, come back to behavior change. That's just who I am within the methodology, okay? So that's where AnnaCate Whole Health really began to take shape. It's had a couple iterations. I'm no longer individually coaching. I believe the way, like I said, the world is changing. Dissemination, communication, truths, right? There's a realization that meaningful change happens when education meets that awareness, self-awareness, right? And so that self-awareness with the education and information becomes your practice. So whole health practices. So again, instead of coaching one-on-ones, right, it's an opportunity to build learning systems and experiences for you guys that are actual resources that will help you in your everyday. So that's the bridge, okay? From all this chaos and confusion of what should I do and what's the latest trend, all the way to the clarity that works for you, the things that you can pick up and utilize as a guide that work in your space, okay? So that's the bridge I've become most interested in exploring here. So it's not just about what we should be doing, because again, you know it. You've listened to countless videos about it. I have too, right? But it's why the change is so difficult. So why some habits stick and why others don't. Why healing isn't linear. And I could go off on that. Like, of course it's not linear. It's cyclical. You're always going to come back. It's a moving, it's an ebb and flow. Again, that's life. That's the beauty of life, in my opinion. It's why our environment matters, why relationships matter, why our thoughts matter, right? It's mindset. It's the nervous system matters. It's the somatic work. Health is never just one thing. And that's my purpose here. To sure, deep dive into certain areas of health and well-being, the dimensions that we spoke about, right? The sort of pillars that I base resources off of, which is health, healing, and habits. Because it all comes down to certain things. That's the framework. Because health is understanding the science, and that's why we are the experts in every field, okay? But what do you do with all that expertise? Okay, so healing is creating the space for reflection, for growth, for compassion for ourselves, in the everyday, in the spaces where we're not changing, in the stagnant, but also in change. Change shouldn't be a scary word for all of us, okay? And then habits are essentially how we are translating both of those things, health and the healing, into an everyday life, into a life that you're proud of, into a life that, even in the sticky moments, is okay, is safe, okay? So awareness without action does not create change. But action with awareness is the thing that's going to bring about and bridge those lasting results for you. So what can you expect? All right? What you're going to find here are some just off-the-cuff Anna speech, because sometimes I think that's fun. I get something in my mind, very much a Gemini, and I go down that rabbit hole. Okay? Some of the videos, though, will explore the science behind health. And others are just going to be that reflection on life. The healing patterns, the reasons why healing looks different and is so important to us on different levels of our journey. That's very important to me. Healing is one of the biggest ways to solidify transformation, right? So we're going to talk about behavior change. I love behavior change. I love figuring out why people are doing what they're doing, what are the systems, what are the patterns, what is the environment bringing to the table. So nutrition, stress, people, relationships, purpose, mindset, the small practices. I always use the word sensuality, okay? It's using our senses. It's using our senses to embody life. So we have a joy-filled way of moving through this world. That's so important to me. And the small practices. Every day picking up one even minute thing, not to add to your plate, but to just do as a part of ritual, as a part of routine. Those are the things that are going to make you better and more whole over time. So sometimes I'm going to teach, sometimes I'll just share a conversation, and hopefully together we'll just be asking better questions about how to live in a healthful manner in this space, in this time and space that we are all here on this planet together, right? So if you're looking for a deeper, more structured learning experience, that's where Whole Health Foundations comes in. You will see that pop up. I'm going to go through some avenues in which we delve deeper into the mind, body, soul in terms of a foundation of whole health, right? That's where the practices come from. So we'll talk about all of this. I just want it to be like fun and sincere and an avenue to resources that will help you in your everyday life, okay? I just think it's important that people start using their voice, start writing, start creating, start using your gifts in a way that makes sense for you, for your soul blueprint, right? It's what I've talked about in the past, just very briefly, but it is. We're all here, and we all have a different soul blueprint, and I think that is super special. And I hope that you start to understand that you're special, that you're gifted for these reasons, to embody in your lived experience a deeper sense of what it means to be here, to make a difference, to serve, right? That's why I do what I do. It's why I'm on camera today talking to you, right? So this is Your Wellcast. This is my voice, right? So AnnaCate Whole Health is the umbrella. Your Wellcast is a brand of that. And in this case, it's the video. Substack is written. I just want to speak to an audience because I feel that there is a need. There is a way of living that I can feel people are sort of aching for and wanting and needing. And if you're one of those people, welcome. Like, I'm glad you're here. I'm excited. I'm excited to teach a framework. Again, I have the AnnaCate Whole Health methodology. We'll go through that, but we're starting with awareness, right? It's here on Your Wellcast. So this is where we explore how we actually are going to live with all of it. You know, so much information. What do we do with it? So my hope, again, is that these videos can be a place of authenticity, of essence, of you finding coherence within your own life, right? Again, stay curious. Slow down, right? Like, I feel like so many of us are looking for external and what's next. And sometimes we need to just slow down. Slow down, be present, look at our past, understand life as a canvas. What are all the pieces that are coming together, pointing you in a beautiful direction, okay? I want you to remember that whole health, I'll say it a million times here, isn't just about becoming something different. It's about understanding yourself well enough to live more intentionally. I want each and every one of us to walk through our own journeys, our own soul path, truly listening to ourselves. Self-awareness, self-trust, self-love, right? Once we emanate light inside of us, we can give that outwards. It penetrates out and people feel it, okay? So thank you so much for being here. I'm excited for what's ahead. I will get used to being on camera again in a different setting. I'm sort of in between locations. Since I just left Cleveland Clinic a month or two ago, probably like two and a half months ago now, going back, finding a destination west. But thanks for being here, you guys. I really, truly appreciate you, and I believe in you. And so let's do this together. Let's navigate. Let's just chat, and I will build resources, things that you need, a foundation for your life, for you to live within whole health, okay? So I'm excited to see what comes. Subscribe, like, comment, all the things. Find me on my website, so it's AnnaCateWholeHealth.com, and I'm also on Instagram as well. So I will see you in our next conversation. All right, until next time, thanks so much.